AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
Ever since Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got floated as the next big thing for 2028, the chaos basically rode itself. And guess who's been ringing the alarm louder than anyone? BillMaher. He's been throwing warning shots like it's a national emergency. This ain't new for him. He did the same back in 2024 when the Democrats rolled the dice on Kamala Harris. And we all know how that gamble ended in flames.
What do you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
Now Maher is back with zero patience and even less hope. He's begging the left not to fumble this one too because, as he puts it, they're about to run the same broken play with a different uniform. The man sounds like he's watching a car crash in slow motion again. AOC was supposed to be the fresh face, the progressive icon, the one to rally the next generation. Instead, she's giving off Twitter activist on a sugar rush vibes. Within days of her name being floated as Kamala's replacement, things started spiraling fast, and not because of her enemies, but because of her own wild media moves. Rather than stepping up with clarity and confidence, AOC's been racking up awkward interviews like it's a contest. She's tossed out head-spinning economic takes that even her own party couldn't back, and gone on policy rants that left people blinking in confusion. One day, she's demanding more spending. The next, she's blasting the very system she benefits from that it's got folks wondering, is she ready for the spotlight, or just addicted to it? 'Cause right now, she's not building momentum. She's torching it. And if this is who the Democrats are putting their chips on for 2028, they might want to slam that reset button right now. Because the more AOC talks, the more people are looking around like, wait, is this really the best they've got? Voters aren't just confused. They're straight up concerned.
Unemployment is low because everyone has 2 jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country
It is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution.
And this is exactly why people like BillMaher keep going off every chance they get. He's not ranting for fun. He's trying to wake folks up, strip away the yelling, the emotional Instagram lives, the dramatic speeches made for viral clips. And what are you really left with? Not much. She's mistaking loud for leadership, and clicks for competence. Every speech feels like a monologue from a teen drama series. Fiery, yes, but empty underneath. There's no real vision, no clear policy, just vibes. And when the spotlight gets hotter, she doesn't rise, she spirals. Maher is not just throwing darts in the dark. He's calling it like he sees it. This is a train wreck waiting to happen. And if the Democrats seriously crown AOC as their 2028 frontrunner, they're not just taking a risk, they're basically begging for a political collapse. What she's offering ain't a strategy. It's a spectacle. And yeah, that works for clout. But it crashes at the ballot box. Voters want answers, not attitude. They want substance, not sound bites. And Maher's message is loud and clear. Keep playing this game, and 2028 won't just be a loss, it'll be a straight-up embarrassment. Democrats are already leaking support. And it's not a slow drip. It's a full-on hemorrhage. Voters from their own base are bailing, frustrated, and fed up with the party's obsession over woke theatrics instead of real solutions. People ain't buying it anymore. Let's be real. Biden didn't exactly wrap things up like a hero riding off into the sunset. His final stretch in office looked more like a confused shuffle than a confident exit, and Kamala Harris, woo, she didn't clean up the mess. She made it worse, spinning in circles with speeches that left even her supporters scratching their heads. It's no wonder the party's crumbling from the inside.
This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country
And
is.
AOC, instead of reaching out, she's locking herself deeper into the same progressive echo chamber that's been pushing middle America to the edge. She's not building a bridge, she's burning it down and live streaming the flames. Now, if anyone's hoping that Gavin Newsom or Tim Walz will swoop in like political saviors, better think again. Newsom's got a closet full of headlines that read more like rap sheets, between personal scandals and policies that sound good on paper but flop in real life. And Walz, same script, different actor. They're all caught up in virtue signaling, not voter connection. Even the most loyal Democrats are drifting, looking towards centrists, independents, or straight up walking away from the voting booth. The message is clear, people are done with the circus. Because the real problem ain't just about who's running, it's way bigger than that. The ideology running the show feels completely disconnected from economic reality, public safety, and basic everyday logic. People want stability, not slogans. They want solutions, not lectures. And unless the party wakes up soon, they're headed straight for a political blackout. We'll get to where Bill Maher is going in a sec, but first, let's talk about what is really calling out.
Really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
He's not just ranting, he's exposing something deeper, a straight-up obsession from AOC and her progressive squad with tearing down anything tied to traditional American values. Maher sees it, and he's not sugarcoating a damn thing. He's slamming their endless outrage, their identity-first politics, and this wild habit of treating patriotism like it's some sort of hate crime. For them, if Trump ever breathed near a policy, it's immediately evil. Period. It could help single moms, struggling workers, small businesses, doesn't matter. If it came from the other side, it gets torched. Tax breaks for working families, racist, border control, xenophobic, energy independence, climate denial. It's all labeled toxic before it even gets a chance. Maher's verdict, this ain't just political opposition. It's ideological self-sabotage. They're not pushing back on Trump, they're pushing back on reality.
For all the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America's just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
And guess who's watching all this in disbelief? Everyday Americans, the ones who still wave the flag, still believe in fairness, freedom, and putting your country first. Those people are walking away quietly but fast. Sometimes I log on to Twitter, scroll for 30 seconds, and I'm out. Why? Because it's like a digital rage parade. These young hyperliberals are straight up hosting an anti-American roast every hour, every day. It's like they've forgotten the same country they're dragging is the one that gave them the freedom to go viral in the first place. They're not just critiquing the system, they're torching the whole foundation. They paint America like it's one big, unforgivable villain instead of the place that handed them more rights, more freedom, and more platforms than almost anywhere else in the world. Maher is not having it. He's watching the left throw away voters, values, and common sense, all for clout. And he's sounding the alarm loud and clear. This path leads to isolation, not inspiration. Free speech. A shot at a good life. Basic rights that most of the world can only dream about. I've been around. I've seen how it looks outside the US. And let me tell you, most places don't even come close. Not in freedom, not in opportunity, and definitely not in prosperity. But somehow these keyboard warriors think it's cool to trash the very country that gave them a platform. They act like it's bold or rebellious. It's not. It's tone deaf. It's entitled. And honestly, it's embarrassing. And leading the charge is AOC, with her perfectly staged outrage, Instagram monologues, and that never-ending political theater.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgements where they say, I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe, I say either give it back or shut up.
Everything she does feels like it's scripted, not to lead, but to perform. It's less public service, more influencer content. She sells herself as this working-class warrior, the tough girl from the Bronx fighting the system. But once you scratch the surface, it all starts to look like a welcome character. Her real name, Sandy Ocasio, doesn't exactly scream revolutionary, does it? And that tough Bronx story? She was raised in Yorktown Heights, a quiet, upper-middle-class suburb with good schools and tree-lined streets. And about that bartending hustle, sure, she held the job, but so do millions of college kids trying to make ends meet. That doesn't make you the voice of the people. It just makes you relatable, like everyone else grinding through school. But AOC's turned it into a myth, a brand, something she leans on every election cycle to say, I'm one of you. But more and more people are realizing, it's all marketing. The slogans, the sound bites, the TikToks, this isn't leadership rooted in sacrifice. It's cosplay politics. And when real challenges hit, when actual solutions are needed, performers fade fast. Because claps and likes don't fix real problems. And that's the disconnect. America gave her the stage, but instead of building something real, she's just playing a role. That's not some rags to riches story. It's just regular life. Millions of people grind through school, work jobs, and try to make something for themselves.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
But AOC acts like she clawed her way out of the gutter, when the truth is, she was never in it. She's been acting like she's one of us while living like someone who's never had to worry about a thing. That ain't authenticity, that's PR. And finally, people are waking up to the game. Let's step back and talk facts. You want to talk about women's rights? Compare what women in America can do versus most of the world, and the difference is insane. Here, women can vote, own homes, run businesses, wear whatever they want, speak freely, and build a life on their own terms. No man's permission. No government control. No cultural leash. They can sit in boardrooms, take the MIC in Congress, lead companies, and drive the direction of entire industries. Try doing any of that in parts of the world where women are still being silenced, covered up, or locked down by outdated laws and brutal traditions. Over there, basic rights are still up for debate. Over here, women are pushing limits and breaking ceilings every single day.
Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
But AOC and her crowd, they'd have you believe women in the US are under attack just because the country doesn't bow to every single demand of radical woke politics. Like if you disagree with extreme gender theories, you're suddenly sexist. Nah, that's the trap. Disagreeing with far-left ideology doesn't mean you hate women. It just means you've got your own brain. The irony? It's wild. They scream misogyny in a country that's one of the safest, most empowering places on earth for women. Real oppression exists, but you won't find it in the boardroom or the ballot box here. You'll find it where women are still silenced for even speaking up. And yet, they keep pushing the victim narrative, like freedom's not enough unless it comes with applause. When it comes to all the loud hate aimed at capitalism, it straight up doesn't hold water. The same folks bashing the system are the ones cashing in on it. They'll post anti-capitalist rants from their iPhones, sipping overpriced coffee, living in cities built by business. It's wild. They love to drag the very system that turned America into the global powerhouse. Capitalism made this country the most prosperous, most innovative, and most opportunity-filled place on the map. Period. And yeah, socialism or communism might sound sweet in theory, equal this, fair that, nobody left behind.
But again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable privileged we are? Immigrants.
But in reality, it's economic quicksand. History is full of countries that bought into the dream only to end up in disaster. Just look at Venezuela, Cuba, the old Soviet Union. All had potential, all had resources, and all crumbled under bloated governments, zero competition, and no reason for anyone to grind. People don't flee to socialism. They run from it. And what do they risk just for a shot at capitalism? Everything. They cross deserts, brave oceans, dodge danger at every turn. Why? Because they know what it's like on the other side. And they'd rather take their chances in a country where effort actually gets rewarded. That alone should say it all. Capitalism ain't perfect, but it works. It drives invention, rewards hustle, and gives people the freedom to build something for themselves. That's what creates progress, not government handouts, not top-down control. Drive. America shouldn't flirt with socialism. It should sprint the other way. We don't need more empty promises and utopian slogans. We need results, systems that deliver, not ones that drain. Immigrants get it more than anyone. They've lived through real struggle. They've seen the shortages, the silence, the systems that crush ambition. So when they risk it all just to reach American soil, they're not chasing handouts. They're chasing possibility. And that's exactly what capitalism offers. Not guaranteed outcomes, but the chance to rise. And that chance, that's worth everything. People don't risk it all for handouts. They come chasing freedom, dignity, a shot at something real. And let's just be honest, if America was really the dark, broken wasteland that AOC and her crew keep screaming about, then why are millions from across the globe still desperate to get in? The answer's simple, because despite its flaws, America still shines. It's still that one place where effort matters. Where freedom isn't just a word, it's a lifestyle. Immigrants aren't lining up for socialism or identity politics. They're not begging for lectures about gender theory or carbon footprints. They're running from real oppression, places where speaking your mind can land you in jail, where ambition gets you nowhere, where survival is the dream, not success. They understand freedom in a way many progressives can't, because they've actually lived without it. That's why it's almost comical to hear privileged politicians bash the country they benefit from while sitting in taxpayer-funded offices with every safety net imaginable. Meanwhile, the people who've really struggled, who've lost sleep, crossed borders, and worked 3 jobs just to survive, they're the ones who still see America for what it is, hope. Not perfection, but a fighting chance. America delivers. And that's why people fight to reach its shores. Not because it's flawless, but because it tries, and that's more than most places can say. Funny how the loudest critics usually had the smoothest ride. They scream about injustice from iPhones, sipping lattes, living in gated communities. But those who've known real suffering, they know the truth. This country matters. So block out the noise. Because when the smoke clears, America's still the best shot at liberty, opportunity, and truth the world has ever seen. If you felt that, hit that like button, drop a comment, and make sure you're subscribed. We've got way more coming. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next.